Hello, this is Jim 12s again, and I've got a friend here called Mark Fell.
Hello. Hello.
And we're out in the bush. Mark comes from Castle Hill, and I'm in Kellyville. And we're today going to have a chat about what's happening in the Middle East, particularly with regard to Iran, from a biblical point of view. So Mark's going to do most of the talking, which will be a great relief to you, I'm sure. A change of voice, and he's going to answer some questions, which I'm going to dream up as we go along. So, I should give the date before we kick off. Today is the 13th of April 2026. So, I hope you got your coffee. We're off. So hold that.
Yep.
A bit closer to your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So, Mark, we all know that the Middle East is in a mess, and there's a huge war that's going on, and there's supposed to be a ceasefire, and there's negotiations, and all that. I've heard it called Trump's war, which is not true because it's Israel and America. I've also heard it said that because NATO and Europe has abdicated, it's a really weird world situation compared to all the other Middle Eastern wars America used to get involved with. So off you go, and I'll interrupt you when we negotiate the conversation.
Sure. My perspective from my background is Israel more than the nations, let's put it that way. So my focus is what Israel is doing in their part of the war, what they've been doing, especially since October 7, 23. And so they've been constantly, dealing with the enemies, with Hamas first, and now also with Hezbollah. And those two entities were, or are proxies of Iran. So the whole focus is, from my understanding, a part of Israel, and then allowing or asking the US to help to get rid of the threat of nuclear weapons from Iran, and the attacks that they continually, send to Israel. They haven't stopped sending rockets to Israel, and so Israel, from my understanding, Israel has a 3-front or even 4 with the Houthis.
Yeah.
And so America has. From the previous 2 administrations, America has aligned themselves more to helping Israel than hindering them, should I say. So
sorry to interrupt. You've implied that America in the previous administrations didn't get involved. Why do you think they didn't? And why do you think they tried to appease Iran and others?
Yeah, well, there's a Obama, before he left, the day he left, he sent billions of dollars of cash on a plane to Iran. It's a fact. You can search it out. And so, which not many people know. And so he always appeased. That was the whole nuclear agreement. It was an appeasement for Iran. Islam lies. Part of Islam is to lie to further the cause of Islam. You can lie, cheat, and steal, so long as it furthers Islam. And so they took that, and Obama, whatever you think, I think he has Muslim background, and so I think he allowed Iran to do what they wanted to do.
And didn't care if they developed nuclear weapons?
No, I don't, because I think he convinced by the same ideology that Islam's got to take over.
Wow.
That's
That's a
my
biggie.
opinion, anyway.
That's a biggie.
And then I think he continued his influence in the next administration, especially the Biden administration,
Yes.
which he was just a puppet. And I think Obama's influence continued right up through
Right.
that. And so I think many intercessors, and I guess from my background it's all about intercession, that many intercessors got together and God gave America and Israel a period of relief or period of mercy, for America to readjust themselves to God. Whatever you think about Trump, what has been in the background, not ignoring what he says, because I don't listen to what he says, but what he is doing through his administration and the people around him, more focused on God than the previous administrations, let's put it that way. And so that, for me, that is a relief for Israel, and then allowing Israel to accomplish what they want to accomplish, because the previous administrations blocked them in every step of the way.
So, do you think Iran is actually going to be, how shall I say, rendered harmless? And how do you see this playing out?
Well, there's a prophecy in, I think it's in Habakkuk, that says, God saying, I will break the bow of Elam. Now, Elam is modern day, is Persia, was Persia, and so, which is modern day Iran. And so that prophecy either is now, only time will tell. And so, I think it could be. There will, again, what we were talking about earlier, the spirit of Amalek will rise somewhere else. This might be a period of grace for Israel to rebuild and strengthen, looking at the other neighbours around them. I think the most foolish thing for Iran to do was bomb their neighbours, and that just led them into Israel. So that, to me, that's a very significant part of this conflict. And so they might be flattened for a while, but their ideology will never change. And so God in his grace might allow the people of Iran to take their country back. For me, only time will tell. So I just sit and wait and watch and see what will happen.
And now you tell me that story about Amalek and the children of Israel coming out of Egypt.
Egypt, yeah. So in Exodus, as the people were leaving, came through the Red Sea, they travelled to Sinai, and on that journey, that part of the journey, the Amalekites attacked them, but they attacked the rear guard. And if you read that account it says they attacked the weak and they had no fear of God. Right? And that's a significant thing. So, and then the result was Moshe and Joshua sent Joshua to go out and fight the Amalekites, and they won. And the story was, and after the battle, God said, "You will fight the Amalekites from generation to generation. Don't forget to war against them, generation to generation." So the scriptures are physical as well as spiritual, and that is, shows a continuing battle in the spiritual realm as well as the physical realm until today. And so, basically, the spirit of
but after.
Oh yes. So then after a couple of hundred years later, Samuel commanded God through Samuel commanded Saul to attack the Amalekites and destroy them, and Saul did that partially, and of course he was reprimanded by God and lost his throne, and so the king at that time, the king of the Amalekites, was Agag. and so Samuel killed him. But Agag and the Agagites returned or popped their head up again in the story of Esther, as Haman was an Agagite, and so he was a descendant of the king of the Amalekites. So again, that spirit came again and wanted to wipe out the Jewish people. And so again, the most recent form of the spirit of Amalekite, on a large scale, is Hitler, of course, and the Holocaust. And again, we see it happening through Iran at this moment. And the rise of anti-Semitism is a huge sign at the moment of, so probably to diverge a bit.
Yeah, go for it.
If that's right. There's a prophecy in Jeremiah that says, that God says, I will send the fishermen to the people of Israel. I will gather them. They will fish for my people from the nations. And then he says, straight after that, he says, I will send the hunters, and they will chase them out of every crack and every rock where they've gone. So our focus is a focus on anti-Semitism as the hunters. That they are the rise of anti-Semitism, the attack at Bondi Beach, on all the other attacks around the world, synagogues getting burnt and everything, is a wake-up call for the Jewish people to make Aliyah.
Right, which is expound.
Aliyah is a word that means to go up, and it means to return to Jerusalem. So that's the Hebrew word for that. And so...
sorry to interrupt you, but do explain your role in Aliyah and why you got involved with it.
Sure. So I'm with an organisation called Ebenezer Operation Exodus, and we were established in 91 in Jerusalem in a prayer breakfast in Jerusalem when Saddam Hussein was shooting rockets to Israel. And it was established, God said to the founder of the organisation to start bringing the Jewish people back from the land of the north. And so that's also part of a prophecy in Isaiah 43. And so that organisation was begun then, and from then on it's been a organisation of intercession and then physical help. So we have people all over the world helping the Jewish people get their visas and get all their documents and make the move. And so that's part of it. How
long have you been doing that?
For at least 24 years or so.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's a career.
Yeah, so it's been wonderful. I've been to Israel and volunteered in Israel 5 times or so now.
Wow.
It's been wonderful. So, yeah, I've enjoyed that. And so that's a focus. And there's not only our organisation, there's many others, Bridges for Peace, ICEJ, Christians Friends for Israel, many organisations around the world that have the same understanding and all, mostly based around Isaiah 40, verse 1 and 2 and on. So that's the foundation, the scriptural foundation of it.
Look, going back to Iran and what's happening there, to wrap this up, can you give me an idea of what you think, how this current war might come to an end and when?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. My hope. Well, I think that Iran would be quietened for a little while,
right?
Similar to what Israel's trying to do with Hezbollah and Hamas. I can't ever see them laying their weapons down in any of those. Islam is Islam. I believe they'll be the Antichrist's soldiers in the end times. We're in the end times. So I think Islam will grow stronger and continue to kill, steal and destroy as long as they as long as the Lord allows them to.
And the timescale in terms of quietening them down?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
A couple of months?
Yeah. 2? Oh no. Yeah, I haven't actually really thought of that. Yeah, maybe hopefully a couple of months, really, for the sake of the Iranian people. I mean, to me, God's timing is what we struggle with.
Yeah.
And I never put a time on things until they happen.
Well, thank you, Mark. There was a lot in that.
Sorry.
You've covered a huge number of things. I would love any comments, questions below. I haven't managed to get many comments going. I think I recall 1 or 2 in my time with this channel. So come on, perhaps Mark's comments will provoke you. Till next time, bye for now.
Cheers.